This is Thomas Lyons for Boxing Fans TV, and I'm delighted to be joined tonight by one of the recent Matchroom heavyweight editions, Johnny Fisher. First of all, Johnny, how have you been?
I'm good, thanks, Tom. I hope you're well too. Just a light bit of training today and just soaking it all in and looking forward to the debut at the end of the year.
Perfect. Let's get straight into it. Obviously, you signed a multi-fight deal with Matchroom, probably one of the biggest platforms out there in world boxing, let alone domestic boxing. I mean, how did the agreement come about with you, obviously, with Sam Jones and Adam Morley? Just talk to me about how things sort of fused together.
Well, I was over the moon when I got offered by Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, so I'm really pleased with the result. But it came about, Sam had a few offers. It was all through my managers. They had a few offers for me to turn professional. And it got back to me one day and said, Matchroom want to sign you. And we looked at the deal, and it was a good deal. And obviously, with the platform that provides and all the great fighters at Matchroom, it was a good decision for me to go with them.
I suppose with the current climate, with everything that's going on, the amateur shows are not really kind of getting back up and running yet. There doesn't seem to be sort of much hype around the amateurs, but whereas now the pros starting to go back with obviously Eddie Hearn's fight camp, and then obviously Frank Warren's had his shows. I mean, how much are you looking forward to getting in the ring now, Johnny?
Oh, I can't wait. What I'm learning with Mark at the minute, we're into our 5th week now. And the sparring that he's got arranged for me moving forward as well, I'm really in a good position now. And building up to it, yeah, I've got a good few weeks ahead of me until I make my debut. But I'm really excited to get in there, and all my fans and friends at home are really excited as well. So it'll be good to get in there.
Good stuff. I mean, it's a buzz, isn't it, having a big fan base, and also, I mean, producing the results in the ring. Have you sort of had any discussions with Mark about sort of potential opponents, what you'd like to sort of do to just kind of go through that embryonic stage, the first sort of 10, 15 fights as a pro?
Yeah, we haven't spoke much about opponents. It's still very much about getting the right sparring and gelling with Mark still, because it's still early stages. But he's going to talk to the matchmakers at Matchroom, and whoever's put in front of me, I'm sure it'll be the right step at the right time to get into where I need to be. So yeah, I know I've got to go through them building phases, but that's all the part of enjoying the journey as well, getting the experience up in the rounds and looking good and trying to get these people out of it. So I'm looking forward to the challenges that lie ahead.
And just quickly away from the boxing, congratulations on graduating. I know it's a tough struggle, university, and also balancing it on the side. I mean, how difficult, sort of how challenging was it to balance your studies, the commitments on that side with the boxing?
It was difficult, very difficult, especially when I was in my last term I spent out in Las Vegas with Joyce's training camp. But that was difficult, but in some ways I think it helped me as well, because sometimes at university you can get lost with the amount of time you do have on your hands, especially doing a degree like history. It's a lot of independent work, and you can sometimes be pushed and think, I don't have to do this today, I don't have to do that. But with me, I had to have a very regimented schedule, and for me to get everything done on time, I was always racing against time. So in a way, it gave me a good routine to get forward. But obviously, I could have done with a bit more time to get a little bit more time on the old degree. But I'm glad I've done it. I've done it under extreme circumstances, so I'm pleased I got the degree in the end.
Hats off to you, mate. I mean, yeah, now you can sort of close that chapter and look forward to the promising future ahead.
Exactly, that's all banked, that's all done, so I can give it a good go at the boxing now.
And you've always sort of been around sports. I mean, I've seen you played rugby for quite a bit, and obviously a rich boxing family as well. So, I mean, how important is it having that traditional side of things, the physicality that boxing brings, but also the intelligence and the knowledge that you need to be a good boxer?
Where I'm from, my family, we're all massive boxing fans. None of them have got to really high level, but we've always been involved in boxing gyms and amateur gyms, boxed at places like Repton and West Ham and stuff like that. So to have that knowledge and that experience that my granddad had as well, and from all different sports as well. You mentioned about rugby. You can learn different things from different sports. I played football as well as a youngster. I was captain of the school team, played for my district side, won Essex County titles and things like that. So there's different things you can take from different sports. And I think it's really important to have sport as part of your lifestyle, and not just be academic, not just be sporty. Have both of them as one, and that really rounds you as a person. And it's set me up well now because I've got a good opportunity to have a good go at the boxing.
And being able to establish that balance, you talked about you went over to Vegas with sparring Joyce, being around elite level athletes like Lerone Richards and all these guys. how much have they kind of brought you on how, now that you're maturing? I mean, you're 21, I believe.
21, yeah.
So, I mean, the world's your oyster, Johnny.
Exactly. I've got a lot of time on my hands, but to go in that camp and learn off people like Lerone and Joe Joyce, just to mirror them, see how they act as professionals. One thing I learned from Joe is very, very relaxed man, very laid back. And that's something I need to get into me a little bit, just learn to relax a little bit more, very eager. And that's a good thing. But I can learn off him. I learned off Lerone, very professional, just the way they conduct themselves. And for me to be in the same camp as them, it was an honour for me.
And let's go back to the relationship with Sam Jones, S-Jam Boxing. Give them a massive shout out, doing massive things in boxing. How did they approach you, and sort of how did the relationship materialise, Johnny?
It started. I first spoke to Sam. I was second year at uni, and I was at university, and saw that Joe needed some sparring. So I just messaged him on Instagram and said, "Do you need me to come down?" He said, "Yeah, come down." And I thought, bloody hell, that's brilliant, because I had no experience, and I just thought that's a great opportunity for me to go down there and mix it with these top level pros. And I done well, and I got invited back again. Christmas time as well, when I sparred last Christmas. I done well then. And then I got invited out to Vegas, and I was just ecstatic, over the moon. Like, it's unbelievable for me to be asked to do that. I'd never been to America before, so that would be an experience in itself. And there was never any fault even then of them turning professional with me then. But I did well out there, and then we sort of spoke sort of June, July time, and it just sort of worked. It went well together in the end, and we sort of gelled, and it's gone on from there. Because I think that's the good thing about it as well. It was never about them trying to poach me or trying to get me to go with them. It was just a good organic relationship that we built, and I trust Sam and I trust Adam, and it was the right fit.
And sometimes those organic relationships are the best ones. You know, now that all the pieces of the jigsaw are falling together, you've got your promotional stuff sorted, you've got your management stuff sorted. So now I suppose everything's kind of down to you to perform and produce what you've been shown in the gym. I've seen you sparring, I've seen sort of clips of you sparring and doing bits and bobs. I mean, yeah, how much are you looking forward to replicating that in the ring?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I was thinking about this the other day. I've got the best managers, best promoter, and I've got a world-class trainer and a hero of mine in Mark Tibbs. So I've got the perfect setup. It's all on me now. All I've got to do is follow the path that they put out for me, and I'll get to where I'm meant to be. And I've got the attitude, I've got the work ethic, and I think I've got the tools. So there's no reason why I can't get to them top levels of boxing. I've got time on my side. So it's really exciting to see where we can go.
And I suppose, like, when you're starting off your pro debut, I'd imagine is probably going to fall fairly soon, hopefully with the circumstances that are going on. But ideally, how many times would you like to be out sort of next year, depending on the severity of the virus and whether there's going to be a second peak or not?
Yeah, we definitely want to be out multiple times next year, at least 4 times we're looking at. So that would be good for me to be out that many times. But it's a tough time for everyone at the minute with coronavirus going on. Even now, they're talking about throwing us back in a second lockdown. There's little whispers about that, so we hope that doesn't happen, and we can get fans back as soon as possible. Because I've got a lot of mates at home, especially at uni and where I live, so they want to come and watch me, and it'd be brilliant on my debut if we can have fans back.
I mean, that's the sort of the dilemma. We're not really sure about whether, you know, arenas are going to be at full capacity. They're saying potentially an O2 Wembley Arena, 1,000 people, 500 people.
Yeah.
So we're sort of making gradual progress, but again, everything's a bit uncertain as of yet.
Yeah, it is very uncertain at the minute. There's a lot of fear around, a lot of scaremongering as well. But we've got to listen to the advice, and I want fans back. Everyone wants fans back. We all want to go back to normal, but we just got to trust what's going on, and it's difficult at the moment because everyone's got different opinions on the matter, and you just got to go with it. There's nothing; it's out of our control, really.
And I do want to touch on one thing because I've seen a few sort of rumours about Mark Tibbs and Billy Joe Saunders. Is it confirmed that them two will be working together sort of in the future?
Yeah, I saw some sort of messages and things about them working. They've been doing some bits together. I don't know if it's official yet or what the plan is. So and it's not really my place to say what's going on, but I think they'd be a good pair together. I know they worked together in the past with Jimmy, but I've met Billy a couple of times and he's a good man. So and Mark's a good man, so it would be a good match if they decided to work together.
And let's talk about your nickname, the Romford Bull. Very, very original, very unique. How did that come about?
Well, I'm from Romford and I fight like a bull, so people call me a bull. But no, a few people just started calling me at university, and I think my dad done a Twitter poll actually. He likes to do like little polls and stuff on Twitter, and had a few different nicknames up, and that was the most popular one. And it just sort of stuck, the Romford Bull, because I'm proud of where I'm from. Romford is a lot of good people around here, and it's where I've grown up. And it doesn't matter where I go, it might not be the most luxurious place in the world, but I always enjoy coming back home. And I wanted that to be part of my journey, being from Romford.
And I suppose in a way you're going to be like the flag bearer for Romford in terms of the professional ranks. Haven't seen many sort of, top talents like yourself coming through, but I suppose it gives you an incentive to show to the younger generation that, dreams are possible. And the fact you've been out to Vegas, you've experienced that at 21 years of age, it must be an encouraging phase of your life.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've got close links with my old secondary school as well, Marshall's Park, and they invite me to come back and do talks and things like that, because I know I've not achieved what I want to achieve yet in boxing, but I have worked hard to get the opportunities I have, and I've been given opportunities. And I just like to say that with a bit of hard work, you can get little opportunities that come up to get you closer to where you want to get. So it's just about keep working hard, and the opportunities will come your way. And I've got to thank Marshall's Park School a lot, because there's a couple of good teachers there who really helped me out.
And no better time than being a heavyweight at the moment. I mean, everything seems to be centered around the heavyweights. I mean, I remember not long ago, Derek Chisora talking about how he should be sort of main eventing over the lower weights, but in a way he's got a point. People tune in for knockouts, and they tune in for devastating knockouts, and I'm sure you're going to be producing plenty of those over the next few years.
Yeah, I remember something about a year ago or 2 years ago, Lennox Lewis said, he said, you've got regular boxing, and then you've got heavyweight boxing, and heavyweight boxing is like a little bit different to the rest of it. There's the rules and the way it works is just a little bit different, and everyone wants to tune in to see the big fights, the big knockouts, and the big men having a go and having a fight. So it's good to be in that mix, and I'm looking to add to that excitement in my career.
I suppose in a way, with what happened a few weeks ago, that kind of thrown spanner in the works, Povetkin knocking out White. I mean, not many people, say maybe hardcore boxing fans, would have sort of given Povetkin his props for producing the knockout, because I think with the knockdowns and sort of the momentum that White had, it was kind of interesting to see how that fight unfolded. And do you see Povetkin winning the rematch, or do you think White will get his redemption?
So I'm a big fan of Dillian White, and he was boxing superbly. But with that someone like Alexander Povetkin, who's won a gold medal at the Olympics, you can't ever write someone off like that. No matter people saying he's over the hill and he's old, but power stays with you for your whole of your career, and it will be an interesting rematch. I know Dillian White has got the power, he's got the strength, and he's got the skills, but it's just heavyweight boxing. You never ever know. It can go either way. But I hope Dillian White pulls through, because I've always been a big fan. I've watched him since he was like 2011, 2012. I remember watching him as a year 7, year 8 student. And to follow his journey, I really want to see him get that world title shot, because he deserves it.
And someone obviously that's sort of, you shared the ring with Joe Joyce. He's seems to have propelled himself up even to sort of the world stage now. A fight with Daniel Dubois scheduled for November. That's been altered. So who do you see winning that fight, and how close do you think those guys are to the elite, the likes of Fury, Joshua, Wilder?
I think this fight is that one stepping stone into that sort of world level scene. They're both terrific fighters. Daniel Dubois has got immense power. We've seen that firsthand in his knockouts. And Joe, for me, having sparred him firsthand as well, and not just, if you take away the fact that he's the most decorated amateur in GB boxing history, winning all them gold medals and going to the Olympic final. He's a brilliant boxer, but I've seen him firsthand, his fitness and his engine and his will to win and his heart. I've seen that, and I think that's what's going to see him through in this fight. But you never know. As again, it's heavyweight boxing. That's why everyone wants to tune in. It can go either way. But my money's on Joe, and I think his experience and his old man in sort of tactics as a strong, aggressive engine. I think he can do it.
And I suppose his pedigree as well, the fact that he's fought Usyk in the World Series of Boxing. I mean, like you said, he's had an outstanding array of experience on the amateur circuit. So, I mean, it's an interesting mix, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. Just lastly, John, with the heavyweights, Joshua Fury, who would you tip for that right now?
I think I admire both of them, but I think Tyson Fury is the man to beat at the moment, especially after that performance against Deontay Wilder where he dominated. Tyson Fury is the man to beat. I don't think there's ever been a 6'9" boxer who can move like him, and I think that's going to be a huge challenge for Joshua to overcome. But don't write anyone off. But I think Tyson Fury is the man to beat.
And I suppose adapting now as a professional, you know, having sort of recently signed, everything seems to have kind of come on top of you in a way to get the promotion, to get the management. Has there been anything you've kind of sort of in a way not experienced before as a professional, with say like the drug testing, stuff like that? Is that kind of is there any elements that have been a bit unusual to you so far with the transition?
Well, when I was in the Vegas camp, actually, VADA came and tested us, and that was, I already had a taste of what that's like. I haven't been tested yet, but there's not the only big difference I've seen is a lot like the cameras and stuff. You've got to get used to doing, like when I'm training in the gym or you're doing an interview, it's hard with the cam. Not hard, but it's different. You know, there's a different atmosphere, but that's something I've taken in my stride quite well. I think I've done a lot of these interviews, but nothing changes. Nothing changes. You're still a man. You still got to do your same job. You get in a ring to fight another man. You've got to win. So nothing changes. It's just more people watching you now, and you've got to be even more accountable than you was before.
And I suppose has this always been a dream of yours to go right to the top and reach the pinnacle, becoming a world champion, and again putting Romford on the map?
Yeah, well, being heavyweight champion of the world, there's no greater prize than that in the world. So if you can get somewhere near that, if I can have a chance to achieve that dream, that would be unbelievable for me. Ever since I first put on a pair of gloves when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I've always wanted to be heavyweight champion. So it's a dream that I'm going to try and make come true in the next 4, 5, 6 years. Who knows? Who knows where I'll go?
And what does Johnny Fisher do to sort of unwind away from boxing? I know you're a consummate professional, train very hard, but what do you like to do sort of in your downtime?
I live a very, very simple and relaxed life. I like to watch a lot of snooker. I like watching Ronnie O'Sullivan play. But the most important thing, I think, I just love eating food. I go to the same cafe every time after training and just load up on a load of calories because I need them. Otherwise, I'll waste away. So that's my main thing. I love eating food, and I love relaxing, going down to university when I can, and just going to the coastline, going down to Cornwall, anything like that. The simple pleasures in life are always the best.
100%, and I think we appreciate it more when we see it.
Exactly, mate.
Johnny, I want to wish you all the best with preparation. I know it's a bit of a short one tonight, but we will definitely have a more extended interview sooner, and hopefully get an announcement very soon.
Very, very soon, hopefully. But all the best, Tom. Thank you for having me on.
Top man, buddy. Cheers. Have a good evening, mate.
Cheers, Andrew. Bye.